Hi, this is Catherine. This is Taking Tea with Catherine. This is McNulty's China Rose Black Tea, which is just one of my favorites, and I'm in the mood for it. So I thought I'd leave room for a mood. Because this is my second part of my March 2021 TBR, because the first part was March Mystery Madness. And so this is going to focus on some other books that I plan to read that have nothing to do with mood reading, really. And I am going to leave some room, at least in my heart, for mood reading. I don't know about my time, but there's always books that I have either out of the library or just that I am feeling up to reading. And who knows if I will read those. But I'm not going to feature them because that's just up to chance, you know? But BookTube has a lot of these events, monthly read-alongs, sometimes quarterly read-alongs, whatever, challenges, etc. And every month I look at my schedule and say, can I join in on this particular one? And sometimes I do, and sometimes I do by default, in which I read a book and someone comments, hey, are you doing this challenge? Because this is what they're reading in this challenge. And I'll be like, oh, really? Either I didn't see that video or something. But it happens, but sometimes I just can't actively commit to something because it will be just not what I had planned, you know? And then some months I will just pick one thing, like, you know, Jane Austen, July, etc. October. It could go on and on. But the month of March was one of the hardest ones to plan for, in a way, because there are so many. Like, every month has something. But BookTube, I don't know what is in the water in the month of March. I don't know it's the name March, but, like, I feel like there are so many different types of read-alongs and challenges and stuff. And a lot of them are things I would be interested in, but I just couldn't get the time to read everything and join in on everything because just it would be actually overwhelming. So I had to really narrow it down. So besides March Mystery Madness, that's a word, isn't it? Madness. I chose two other ones that sounded interesting. One of them I kind of kept to the very minimal in participation, which a lot of these things are. This is the challenge. If you read one book in this type of genre or whatever, you're part of the challenge. So that's what I did with one thing. And then the other one, slightly more ambitious, but we'll see how it works out. I usually just, because I post from my phone, it's a long story, I'll get into that one day, but usually I come back and add all of the information in the box below. Information box, whatever they call that. Description box, thank you, memory. And so I will, when I get back to it, put all the hosts of these two different activities, these monthly challenges, etc. But probably not right away. So I'm just going to mention right away the first one that I'm semi-participating in, which is a lovely one. It's called, sorry, coughing again, Middle Grade March. And who doesn't like reading middle grade books, right? It can be so fun and almost relaxing, but exciting still. But I don't really have a lot of time to read a lot of them, so I said, what am I really going to want to read for middle grade March? And I didn't really go with the prompts, although they may actually fit in to the prompts. But I chose a book I have out from the library, which is Pages & Co. The Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James. And this has apparently fairy tales, because you see Little Red Riding Hood here and Jack and the Beanstalk on the front page. So I did read the synopsis, okay, but I'll read it again. Tilly and her best friend Oscar are book wanderers, a remarkable group of people who, using the magical power of books, can travel inside any story they choose. But on a wintry visit to Paris, so March is still kind of winter, so that kind of works, the friends wander inside a book of fairy tales to find that peculiar things are happening. Characters are getting lost, stories are all mixed up, and mysterious plot holes are opening without warning. So that's kind of fun. Also, just like the first one, kind of Jasper Fordish, but like for a younger group of readers. It kind of reminds me of a combination of the Thursday Next books and also the Nursery Crimes books by Jasper Ford, which are only 2 books, but which are some of my favorites. So if this is anything like that, I will have a great time with it. I loved the first book so much. It made me want to read actually more middle grade books, and I did as the year went on, a lot of the classics. So that's a good thing if it inspires you to do so. So that is my form of participation, and I think I will like it. But this is another one that I kind of hope to get to, but I'm not making any promises. I just have this on me, and I keep seeing it and wanting to get to it. This is by Felix Salten, the author of Bambi. A Forest World. I just love the look at it, the look of it. And it's got a fox in the front, so that's, for me, that's wonderful. But I don't know if I'll get to it. If I don't, I really want to get to it, at least by the summer. So, we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of exciting. All right, moving on. So, the other thing I am participating in is something I couldn't do last year. Well, I thought I couldn't do last year, because this is March of the Mammoths, which is basically read a large book. I think the minimum is 800 pages, and that's already a big book, to me. I'm not, some people say, oh, they're so intimidating, that's why we need to push ourselves. It's intimidating in a way, but I don't really consider that okay, so when I did Victober back in 2019 for the first time, I read a 900-page book in 2 weeks, along with other books. It was Trollope's Can You Forgive Her? And it just flew by. It is possible that a book that is large can just keep going and going, and can move fast. But usually the issue with large books is that you may have other things you want to read, and this takes up a lot of your time. So that's usually when one plans to read a bunch of books, at least in my case. So I say when I plan to read a lot of books. When you see a book that is rather large, I'll say, I can't get to the right perspective here. I'll say to myself, well, I want to read that, but then that will kind of push out a lot of other choices. So I'm just going to wait till another time. And then another time never comes. So this is a good opportunity to say, if not now, when? And there's so many of these mammoths that I would love to read, including the Juliet Barker biography of the Brontes. I want to read that so badly. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up, though, in March, and I'm kind of sad about that because I'm really in the mood for it. But we'll see. You never know. If not, I will get to it this year. This is my thing. If I can help it, I am going to read that book this year. But I do also have a goal of trying not to read more than one biography of a writer at a time, because I might get it mixed up, even if they were in a slightly different time period or a vastly different time period even. I don't want to get them mixed up. So I decided to choose a library book. I mean, I put it on hold a couple months ago when I heard wonderful things about it. And this is a poet that I like and a writer that I like and who I've read quite a lot of. And so when I heard about this, I was like, well, I got to get this book. So it finally came to the library. And so I said, well, now I have to read this in March. And that is, okay, Red Comet, The Short Life and Blazing Art of Sylvia Plath by Heather Clark. Good, okay. I am lifting it up. I don't know if I can bring my hands down now because it's so heavy. But I'm just being dramatic, you know that. But so I have read books about Sylvia Plath before, but it's been a while. And I hear this is just amazing. And a lot of times, I mentioned it when I talked about my biography haul. I just included it because it is technically a haul. And a lot of the comments were very favorable about this book. So this is my mammoth for March. So that is that. I will let you know how it goes as I am reading it. I'm gonna try to do a lot of more reading updates on this channel in March, because if ever I didn't do as many as I thought I would, just time just got away from me. A lot of stuff happened in February. But I'm going to try, and I am starting to also do some updates on my Instagram page, my Bookstagram one, the one that's called Taking Tea with Catherine, because I thought that would be a good way of supplementing. So if you want to follow me on Taking Tea with Catherine on Instagram, feel free to. And then, last but not least, I chose to start a book that is technically a mammoth. It's, let's see, you have to look at the pages not with all the indexes and stuff like that. But when you're on like Goodreads and you update it to like, oh, you're only 10% of a book that you're actually like 30% because they count all those pages. Anyway, so this one is about 883 pages. So that is big enough. And it is the first of 3 books. And technically he wrote 2, but I don't consider him the same kind of writer as Sylvia Plath, so it doesn't count. The Last Lion, William Spencer Churchill, 1874 to 1932, Visions of Glory by William Manchester. So this is his first of 3 books about the life of Winston Churchill. And I decided to choose it now just because I finally got the whole collection and I want to just get to it. But I also thought, because I probably won't finish it in March, I'll probably continue it in the spring and onward. And I thought maybe I could somehow find a way to connect this to my other project that I'm hoping to really get going with in the spring, which is the Poets and Pre-Raphaelites, which is to read, which I'm already doing, a lot of biographies and works of poets and writers, especially of the kind that influenced the Pre-Raphaelites, or the Pre-Raphaelites themselves, but doesn't necessarily have to be an influence. It could be someone who was influenced by them or had some kind of connection to them. And I think that's my favorite thing, is the search for a connection. Now, I don't know. Being that he was born in 1874, he may have met some of the Pre-Raphaelite artists. They were still around at that time. Maybe I will come up and find instances of that in this book. Which was funny because there was a book the other day. I was in Book Off, and there was a book I was going to buy, and I didn't buy it because it was really badly stained, and it was just grossing me out, so I didn't buy it, which is sad, but it was of a writer that I like. But I, cracked the book open, and it said Burne-Jones, which is one of the painters of the Pre-Raphaelite painters, and I said, wow, I could have used that somehow, because there was something that she used his painting. I don't remember what it was. So that could happen. I could pick up this book, I could be halfway through it, and they could mention at least one of the painters. He was a painter himself, even though not the same kind of painter. He just, he did it as a hobby, but he's well known for his landscapes. Was it landscapes? I don't know, etc. But I did see portraits of his parents by, I think his name was Edwin Long, who was not technically a Pre-Raphaelite, but he was kind of associated with them. I thought, okay, it's a stretch, but I did look at his paintings, and they did have a sort of vibe. He did one of Queen Esther. I think his work was considered more Orientalism or something, which I don't know. That is just, a lot of the Victorian painters were influenced by what they would call, at the time, Oriental art, So that is fine. But yeah, but I do know Edward Long was at least semi-associated with the Pre-Raphaelites, if not directly so. So in a sense, I'm already stretching it, but I'm sure I'll find connections, and I will update either here or on my Instagram when I do find connections, because that's going to be one of my 6 degrees of separation kind of projects that I'm going to keep doing. Right? It's so much fun. Anyway, there's other things that I'm probably going to be participating in. Other little book read-alongs that I'll update you on as time goes on, and other books that I will be reading. We'll see what kind of progress I make. So let me know down below if you have a channel and you've put your TBR up yet, or if you don't have a channel, but if you are participating in any of these activities, please let me know. Or if you've read any of these books. A comment would be very nice. So that's all for now. Slightly shorter video. Actually, lately I've been doing slightly shorter videos. I am not sorry about that. We will make up for it in March. We will do some Mammoth videos, right? Very apropos, right? My cat's looking at me over there. She always looks judgmental. But anyway, this is Catherine at Taking Tea with Catherine. Have a lovely tea and book-filled day. Bye.